Hello and welcome to the Mom's Life Made Simple podcast. I'm your host, Chanel Nielsen, with a great episode for you today. So motherhood can often feel just like this endless treadmill of dirty socks and dirty clothes, dirty dishes, meals over and over again, and bedtime and exhaustion with a little sprinkle of snuggles and loves and tender moments, right? Whatever you do throughout your day, it's often difficult because it's going to get undone and need to be redone the next day. And that's the part that I think feels just so much like a treadmill. We're going around doing the same thing over and over and over. And it's really easy in motherhood to do the urgent, do that thing that's important. Seems important in the moment, right? It just needs to be done right then. And there's a lot of things that need to be done right then. And we can spend our time, our entire day, just doing those urgent things that seem pressing, but never really getting to what matters to us. Because there's so much to do. There's so much of that kind of thing. There's so many little tiny urgent tasks and other people needing us that we can spend all of our time there. But today I want to talk about the importance of stepping back, taking a step back and evaluating three things. So these three things are: number one, what do you want? Number two, what's your programming? And number three, what are your systems? So we're going to talk about what each of these three mean and what that will do for you as far as the motherhood treadmill, how knowing each of those three things is going to shift things for you. So number one, what do you want? Probably the simplest of all questions, right? What do you want? What do you want for dinner? What do you want to do today? What do you want? What do you want to watch? This is a question we hear a lot and we probably answer a lot. But how often are you going deep on this one? And how often are you really thinking about what you want for your life? What do you want your life to look like? One of the things that I do with clients is we take the time to answer this question on a deep level. What do you want for your life? What do you want your life to look like? What do you want this time when you have kids in your home to look like? What do you want your relationship with them to be? What do you want your relationship with your husband to be? What do you want your money to be spent on? What do you actually want? And I find over and over again as I work with people that this is a really hard question. It's the simplest of all questions, but it's a hard question because so much of what we do is spent around other people's wants. We are looking at what do our kids want? What does our husband want? We're givers. We want to know what they want so that we can take care of their wants, which is fantastic. Keep doing that. That's great. But it is also important to know and be aware of what you want. And so one of the things that I would encourage you to do is to kind of exercise your want muscles. Maybe your want muscles are atrophied. You haven't worked out that muscle in a while to really know what you want. I was in a program and one of the things that she had us do was to write down a list of 100 wants. And it was really interesting. The further that you got down this list, it was easy at the beginning. Well, I want to go on a trip here and, I want a new this or that. And there were some things that were top of mind that I knew that I wanted. But as I got further and further on this list, I had to really stretch and really think about what I wanted. Now, this is a good exercise for you if you're out of the habit of thinking about what you want. And it might be hard for you because of your programming. We'll get into that. It might be hard for you to even let your mind go there into what you want. It might feel selfish. It might feel a little off. That to me is a clue that you need practice to do it, because it is a good idea to get in tune with what it is that you want. I heard a quote, Danielle Laporte said, "It's okay to want what you want." And I really like that because it is okay. It is okay to have things that you want. And it's okay to think about those, and it's okay to work for those. But you can't work for those, and you can't think about those, and you can't dream about those if you're not even in tune and letting yourself want what you want. So start there. What do you want? Now, often when we start to think about what we want, we quickly go to the negative. So what do you want? Well, I want my kids to stop fighting. What do you want? Well, I don't want my house to be a mess. Try to really keep it in the positive in what you do want. So what do you want? I want my kids to get along. What do you want? I want my house to feel neat and tidy and welcoming. The more that you can do that and flip that script from what you don't want to what you do want, you're starting to envision and to create with your thoughts what you want it to be. If you say, I don't want my house to be a mess, you're actually focusing and enlarging what you just said, your house being a mess. Because our brain doesn't exactly work in negatives in that way. It pictures, when you say, I don't want my house to be a mess, what do you picture? A clean house or a dirty house? Probably a dirty house. That's the picture that comes up when we say, I don't want my house to be a mess. If you say, I want my house to be neat and tidy, then you can picture in your mind a neat and tidy house. So be careful when you're thinking about what you want, that you're actually thinking about what you want and not what you don't want. All right, number 2, what is your programming? This is a really interesting thing that happens. And if you do this exercise and you're kind of writing down and you're working on what do I want, you may find that immediately, as soon as you think of what you want, you'll hear a little voice pop up telling you that maybe you don't deserve that thing that you want, or maybe you'll never get it, or whatever other programming comes up around some of these things. And we all have programming. This is what happens in our subconscious mind, things that have been programmed in through life experience, through things we learned as children, whatever. Deep down, there's going to be some kind of programming that will come up. And when we say, for example, let's say one of your wants is, I want to be rich. I want to make a certain amount of money this year, or I want to have a vacation home on the beach. You may notice that immediately you shut yourself down. No, that's never going to happen. Where are we going to get the money for that? How would that possibly happen? What about all those bills? We can't even afford braces for little so-and-so. Wherever your mind goes, that is your programming. Now, we all have programming, and some of it is less helpful than others. And so there's a couple things that you can do to overcome your programming. But what I want you to really pay attention to with this exercise is just noticing your programming. Is that programming, whatever's in your subconscious mind, holding you back from dreaming? As you start this first process of what do I want, do you allow yourself to go into what you want, or does your programming take over? And is that why it's really hard for you to even say what you want? What do I want? Oh, I can't have that. If that's your programming, then that's something that needs to shift and that you need to work on. One thing that I like to do is to really sit down with pen and paper and to write down my thoughts. So this could be part 2 of this exercise. Write down, I want a house by the beach. And then write what comes up after that. Oh, how could we ever afford a house on the beach? I don't think we'd ever be able to afford that. And when you see what you've written down, it's very instructive to be able to see your own thoughts. It helps you understand what's actually going on and what programming is in there. And that recognition, knowing what your thoughts are, is part of the process that allows you to change those thoughts and to have better programming. So be really aware of what is your programming, because when you try to make changes and when you decide what you want and you want to go after it, often this programming holds you back, keeps you where you were, keeps you stuck. And so taking that further step to be aware of that programming is going to be really helpful in allowing you to make changes and to go after what you want. Number 3 is, what are your systems? So we have programming, which are like our mental systems, but then we've got physical systems, the things that we do. So do you have space and time in your day to do new things? Or are you too frazzled and stuck in just trying to stay caught up, just trying to do the things every day to get by? If so, then you need better systems to deal with everything that's around you, to deal with all of the things I talked about at the beginning, the dirty socks and the meal planning and all those things. Better systems so that you create space to be able to add in these things that you actually want. Do you need to simplify? Do you need to get rid of some stuff that's just cluttering up, whether your physical space, your mental space, your schedule? Do you need to weed some things out so that new things can grow? Do you need to organize? Do you need to take what you have and rearrange it in a way that makes sense? Now, this could be your stuff, but again, this could be something as simple as organizing your meals. If you're spending way too long figuring out what to feed your family for dinner at night, or you're making too many trips to the store and it's taking up too much of your time, maybe you need a better system in place so that it flows easily, so that you're not spending quite as much time, so that things are organized and running smoothly in that one area of your life. And that will allow you to bring in those things that you actually want. So maybe it's an organization problem. Or is it a habit problem? Sometimes you need to focus on your habits, the things that you're doing day after day after day. Some of our habits are fantastic. They are serving us. The habit of waking up, probably most of us have this habit. We wake up and we brush our teeth in the morning. And that's great. We get shiny white teeth. We're not getting cavities on the regular. We're taking care of our dental hygiene. That's a great habit. We might have other habits that aren't serving us so well. Maybe we have the habit of, as soon as the kids go to bed, getting out the ice cream and sitting in front of the TV. What habits are serving you and which ones aren't? Taking a good hard look at those in line with the first question, what do you want? If you want a healthy body and yet your habit is to have a big bowl of ice cream every night after the kids go to bed, those two are conflicting, right? We want to make sure our habits are actually in line with what we want. And creating those habits and making them work and having habits that serve us really lead into us living the lives that we want. And so these 3 things that we can evaluate: 1, what do you want? 2, what is your programming? And then 3, what are your systems? All of these are things that the MOMS method tackles in great detail. So MOMS, as you know, MOMS in Mom's Life Made Simple is an acronym. M for manifestation. That's the first part. What do you want? It's manifesting, thinking in your mind, using your thoughts to actually plan out and create and envision and dream about, what do I want in my life? That is step 1, because if you don't know what you want, it's really, really hard to get it or even to recognize it when it comes. O is organization. It's that piece of taking what you have and making it fit in its proper place and getting everything organized so that the things that you want are in their proper place and taking the proper priority that they should, rather than letting the urgent things take the priority of your day. M, the second M, is mobilization. That's all about habits. It's taking little daily actions to make these things happen in a way that feels simple, in a way that feels doable, because we want our lives to flow and feel easy and yet to still see progress. And so mobilizing is that process of taking action through daily simple habits. And then finally, the S stands for simplify. And that's the process of getting rid of the things that don't serve us so that we can do all of those other steps. So this is the MOMS method. This is what I teach in Mom's Life Made Simple. And I have a big announcement, which I am so excited about. Mom's Life Made Simple has been traditionally a group group coaching program over the course of 3 months where we work intensely together, going through anything that might be holding you back. Now, for some people, this time commitment and this financial commitment is a little bit tricky. And so I have come up with a new way to access this curriculum, and that is through the Mom's Life Made Simple course. The Mom's Life Made Simple course takes that same information, allows you to do it through a self-study with monthly check-ins through a little bit of group coaching to still get that help, but to do it in a way that's not quite as intense and to do it in a way that's a lot more affordable. And because this program is brand new, in February 2023, if you're listening to this when it comes out, I have a coupon code for you. It's FEB25 for 25% off. So FEB25 will give you 25% off this already lower price. If you're listening to this later, it is still a fantastic deal. You can go and check that out and really get all the tools that you need to make your mom life simple, to go from frazzled and not sure how to make things work in your life to go from that to this place of calm and things working and fitting in so that you have the space to create the life that you want to create. So in order to get that, you're going to want to go to chanelnielsen.com/MLMS course. There's a link for that in the show notes. I am really excited for you to check that out. Go and do it now before the end of the month using code FEB25 to get your 25% off discount. All right. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited for you to get access to this course and to see it in there. All right. Bye.